Destructive fires continue to rage across the Pacific Northwest, and while a lot of our focus has been in Washington, let's go to Oregon for a minute. In northern Oregon, the Grasshopper fire is one of the larger fires currently burning in the state. It scorched more than 39,000 acres, and as of the latest update, the Grasshopper fire is only 20% contained. And there are local ranchers who have been working around the clock to save their land and more notably, their livestock. A father and daughter, 6th and 7th generation ranchers in Grass Valley, Oregon, spent an entire week trying to herd nearly 150 head of cattle and their calves to safety as the fires reached their property.
This morning, Pat Nogle and his daughter Whitney joining us here on Weather Command just to take us back and tell us a little bit more about what this entire ordeal has been like. And we appreciate both of you taking the time. Whitney, I do want to start with you. This is a fire that ignited the Grasshopper fire back on July 23rd, 2 weeks ago today. Active over there, huh?
Maybe Pat will take this question.
Yeah, maybe Pat can take it away. Both of you, could be a combined effort. But take us back to, the moment that fire ignited and how quickly you needed to respond.
We had a little time. We were actually helping the neighbors haul cows, and so we were kind of watching it because it was in the deep in the forest. But we had a view of it here where we live in Sherman County, and we'd been fighting fires on the east side of the county and helping the neighbors haul cows before it actually decided that we need to make a move. It looked like it was they couldn't handle it, and so we went and moved the first bunch that was closest to the flames. In the first few days, I guess it's days running together with going from 4 to dark, but I think we went over there and moved the first bunch, and we see it wasn't getting any better, and then we started on the Forest Service, which is a lot more acres.
Is there a natural response that the cattle have when there are fires and there is smoke? Do they try to get away from the fire? And I guess with that in mind, is it easier or tougher to herd cattle during something like this? I would imagine it's nerve-wracking because you're also contending with the weather and the erratic winds. But how are cattle responding?
Well, the cattle, they don't have the fear like the deer and the wildlife seem to flee. The cattle just kind of meander around and don't really they don't really break into a run, and they don't pay much attention to it. Probably the hardest, of course, we moved them while they were up against the fence and the flames were coming. And then we needed to move, and they didn't see concern. The horses were more concerned about the flames, and then you're worried about your dog's feet getting burnt and this and that. But as far as the cows, that's a scary part. They don't seem to flee like wildlife.
Interesting.
Yeah, I looking at it's so beautiful. This is such a special part of Oregon, and I think also the other thing I've noticed is how dry some of the ground is, and that's been, I know, one of the problems for so much of the Pacific Northwest is we do have some extensive drought conditions. And I guess, Whitney, you could answer this one for me. Looking at the conditions on the ground, and the threat of fires, how does it feel right now compared to maybe other years? Because it does feel like Oregon is dealing with quite a bit of wildfire activity this season.
Yeah, we had a really dry winter, the entire state. And so I think, that's obviously played a part. We did have a wet spring, though, and so we've had a really good grass year, so that there's a lot of fuel. And then, the forests there's a lot of timber and overgrowth, undergrowth. And so there's a lot of fuel to burn. That's making it really hard on the firefighters. And so it's hard for everything to stop any fire anywhere right now too. So that's hard for everything.
Especially hard when you look at how these things have started, and it's lightning, it's dry thunderstorms. And Whitney, you're a 7th generation rancher. Pat, you're a 6th generation rancher. I bet you guys know dry thunderstorms better than even us meteorologists. I mean, having experiencing them, I'm sure that creates an element of unease. But can you speak just briefly to the variability of these seasons and how fires are in ways a part of nature? And so has there been, over the generations of ranching in your family, have you guys had to adapt at all And has it changed how you're herding and ranching?
Yes, I think our conservation practices have changed, and we have more fuel. We have CRP, which is standing grass. Our farming practices have changed from turning it over to no stubble showing to conservation chiseling it so they're standing. So the fires roll through that. That's probably the main difference. And then they take the riparian zones, are taken out to protect the watersheds, and those are ungrazed and they have fuel in them. And it seems like our winds, maybe more winds than we used to have, but a lot of it is it's just erratic behavior of the winds and the practices, conservation practices, kind of bite us in the butt when a fire starts. They're important. There's a happy medium in both, but it seems like if the cattle graze it down a little bit, it kind of reduces. You can reduce it down to half the fuel, and there's places we aren't doing that anymore.
And real quickly before we leave you two, I guess just to check in on how you guys are doing now. I was reading just to further more about your story and how stretched thin these fire crews are. So what happens is a lot of you have to kind of step in. A lot of the ranchers have to step in and help each other and protect your property. I'm thinking of a homeowner. You have your home to worry about. You have an entire property in addition, and cattle and livestock. Yeah, where do you guys stand now, and how has that fight been at a personal level?
Well, Whitney could answer this, but it's the neighbors.
Yeah.
It's everybody's in it together. Everybody has a water tank on the trucks, and we've been starting our own fire districts, so that we'll get government rigs and adapt them to fight fire. And when we have a fire here in Sherman County, there might be 50 people in the first hour. Of course, when it gets down off over the edges of the canyons, we have trouble, because of the terrain. We can't get the vehicles down there, but we'll have bladder bags and this and that. The wind is the big factor. If the wind's blowing, it turns dangerous, and you have to stand back and watch your livelihood burn up. But and it's hard to justify. You don't want to get anybody hurt. Of course, the grass is money for us, but sometimes you have to step back and let it have it. And then BLM comes and helps us on the public land.
Yeah, that's good. And maybe we should have asked you first. I mean, has all cattle been accounted for? Any losses that you guys know of?
We're getting ready. As soon as we get done here, we're headed back to the mountains. There's a sighting of the last few, so we're going up right now to try to find them. So we've been a lot luckier than some people that we have friends in further eastern Oregon that haven't been as lucky as us. So
hate to hear that, but
we don't want to. All of ours are doing well.
We don't want to waste any more of the time. Then get back in and get the ones that are remaining. We really appreciate your time, and best of luck to you all. I know that we're still in this dry season. We can't get to fall and winter soon enough. Get some of that moisture to work back in. But Pat and Whitney, thank you for joining us this morning from Oregon, Oregon Ranchers. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.